What's up guys, John here from the Killer Bits, and today we are taking a look at The Way from PlayWay Games. Well, this is actually just a demo. The full game actually comes out in May, but for this being a demo, it is quite long, so I'm going to try and rattle through this as quickly as possible. First off, settings. As you can see here, I am actually using Gamepad. The game is all done in Java actually, and it's, well, as you can see, there's not a lot of kind of menu settings. We don't apply anything. Audio, it is just basically effects and music. The music is actually subtle but effective. It kind of portrays that somber mood. Controls, as you can see here, we are using Gamepad, but we can also shift to keyboard, and now my Gamepad doesn't work, so you can see here, I'm presuming everything can be rebound, but we'll go back to Gamepad and cancel out of this. And we got control back. Yes, we have. Back. So what is The Way? Well, as you can probably tell, it's a pixel art game. It's a 2D puzzle platformer, very much in the style of games like, well, the developers are actually fairly unapologetic. It is highly inspired by the old Eric Chahi games, stuff like Another World, or Out of This World if you're there in the States, and stuff like Flashback, Heart of Darkness, stuff like that. Those old school 90s puzzle platformers that, I have to say, Another World is probably one of my favourite games growing up. I just thought it was incredibly cool. Obviously that was very much that kind of polygonal vector art style, whereas this is very much pixel art. And as you can see, we seem to have dug up our dead wife, and things are getting a bit creepy. Why do we want our dead wife? Well, I have actually played through the demo. I wanted to see how long it'd be. I knew if they're taking inspiration from stuff like Another World, there's potential that the puzzles would be quite difficult, and the chance that I would die a lot. And in that kind of first run through, it took a while to solve some of the puzzles, and I did die to some kind of weird, you know, badly timed attempts to get past certain obstacles. But as we can see, we've got our dead wife, bed without her, map of Temple of Life. As you might think, he's not taking the death of his wife too well, and we're looking for eternal life. So yes, we're essentially on a journey to discover like a fountain of youth and find the way to bring back our life. So in the meantime, we're going to have to put her in cold storage, so let's stick her in the fridge. So there you go, the capsule is charging. Put the body in the capsule, yeah. Puts the body in the capsule or it gets the holes again. So now we need to go and collect all the notes. And this is the basic tutorial type stuff. You can jump off ladders by pressing C? I don't know what that was. So grab the note. You can run. There we go. We can run now. We'll grab another note. Holding down. Yeah, we crouch. We don't need to crouch. We can have a look there. It's a weak point. It's a hidden entrance. So as you might imagine, well, there's no surprise really. We don't get to a foreign planet in this demo. We can see us on our first date. But for it being a demo, it is quite, I wouldn't say difficult or long-winded, but there's certainly a lot to it. And there we go, there's a strange map with get weapon, transport body and steal spaceship. So our basic objective is get gun, find spaceship and fly away to a foreign planet. First we need to go and get the body. Capsule ready for trip. So disconnected the capsule. So yeah, this game has been on my radar now for, well, a couple of years now. It originally showed up on Kickstarter back in May 2014. We don't want to alert security. So if we can't go through the gate, we'll have to go over it. Whee! There we go. Push the button. But it's not going to be that easy. As you might imagine. Yes, emergency hatch. There are robots about, and this lift doesn't work yet. So we're going to have to solve some puzzles. It's all about the puzzles. So yeah, this game showed up on Kickstarter a couple of years ago now, and is actually coming out, getting its full release in May this year. So it's basically 2 years from kind of, well, I'd say start to finish, but I don't know when development exactly started on it. But it's been on my radar for a couple of years, and the devs kindly sent me this code. There we go, jump over the robot. Well, this kind of demo build, which is essentially just the start of the game. But as I said, even for it being just like the opening chapter, it's still a fairly decent chunk of the game. Well, I don't know whether it's a decent chunk of the game, but there's still plenty to it just for a demo. And it does really give a sense of what the game is like. Now, we need to time this right. Basically, anything with a red light or a red laser or anything is going to kill you. Go on, let's drop through the hatch. And as I said, you can probably tell I've played this before, because I wanted to see how long the demo would be. Whether it would be like, 5 minutes, done, there you go, or if it'd be a bit more. Also, knowing what stuff like Another World is like, I had a feeling that the puzzles were going to be tricky, so I thought it'd be best to actually know what I'm doing. So we've turned off security, but it's not that easy. We're not, as you can see, the elevator still doesn't work, but this hatch is now open. Now, go on, open it. There we go, and down we go. So for being on Kickstarter, I think they originally asked for 15,000, and I think that was Canadian dollars, but wound up managing to raise 23 and change. Can't even call the elevator from down here. Nope, still inactive. As we can see, lots of robots, lots of lasers. So we're going to have to sneak our way around. Maintenance system. Air duct access is locked. Generators are locked. Warning, due to current regulations, only one location can be opened at once. So there is almost kind of a Metroidvania feel to this. There's going to be a lot of backtracking. There was an awful lot of backtracking in stuff like Flashback and Another World. You basically go halfway across the map to unlock a door or something, just so you can backtrack, and yeah. That is all here in this game as well. There is an awful lot of, I wouldn't say they're like key puzzles, but essentially they are. It's basically finding an object to unlock a computer terminal, or unlock a door, or password, or things like that. So here we go. The amount of collected energy, 30%. Generator maintenance is on automatic. Warning, emergency discharge can damage nearby robots. Please make sure the corridor between this console and the generator is empty before discharging. So essentially, we can't discharge yet. No reason for emergency discharge because it's at 30%. So we'll have to change the maintenance. There we go. So let's get out of this, exit, and we've got a little saving icon there. So we John McClane our way through the air vents. So I don't think we get a machine gun, ho ho ho. We do get a gun though. Yeah, the developers, I think it's actually a small Polish team. PlayWay are essentially the publishers behind it, and they've published some, I won't say weird games, but they're fairly varied. I mean, they've done stuff like Hard West, which was like a Western XCOM. They've also done stuff like, what was it, Car Mechanic Simulator. So they're one of these kind of small niche publishers, and this is quite a niche game. It's going to push a lot of buttons for people like me that are nostalgic for stuff like Another World. And the developers, even in their Kickstarter campaign, was saying they were purposely kind of harking back to that because they personally love that kind of game. And they were a little disappointed with kind of the half-hearted attempts at kind of rebooting them. Now, if we were to go up there, we're going to get zapped before we can get the button. So this is all about timing. So we have to make sure that not so much the robots are in sync, but there's a wide enough window we can actually climb up, push the button, and jump off without getting zapped. So, push the button, run. There we go. So yeah, they as I say, small Polish team. I think there's like 4 or 5 people in the team. There's like 3 people that show up in the credits, and I think, if I can remember rightly, on the Kickstarter page it said there was a couple of other people that were working with the team. Whether the team's grown since that kind of initial Kickstarter is potential. There's certainly a possibility. But it strikes me, it feels like a small game, but there seems to have been a lot of kind of patience and work put into it. So it's a small team doing it well. You know, they're taking the time. They're probably wearing many hats, as kind of small indie developers normally do. I think they're doing the music themselves and all that kind of thing. So let's just find a nice safe space where we're not going to get zapped. As you can see, there's a little post-it on the wall, so it is all about collecting info. So you can open a computer terminal here and switch the button off there. Let's climb up here, grab that button, and now the generators, capacitors, or whatever are at 110%. So we can basically. Oh, we got zapped, and this is where we'll find the annoying things. Oh, it actually did save it. It did actually save it, so we're all right. So it'd be one of those things you get almost to the end. It is that old school thing of games way back when. If you just screwed up a little bit towards the end, you were really screwed, because it would kind of, well, it would kill your game, because it would revert back to the last save, and many games didn't have saves. So now we basically need to go back into the vents. Go on, open up the vent. Unlock the air ducts. And now we can go discharge and blow up all the robots. Let's get out there. So yeah, I think the team has kind of really captured that old school vibe to it. I mean, I've said before, personally, I am getting a little tired of pixel art games, and I fully admit some can look stunning. I mean, we've had recent ones like Hyper Light Drifter and Moon Hunters, things like that, look really pretty for pixel art games. But as you know, if you look on Greenlight or Steam on any day of the week, there are tons and tons of pixel art games. So it's easy to kind of get oversaturated, but the fact that this is kind of purposely trying to capture that early 90s vibe with those kind of games like Flashback and things like that, it seems very suitable. I mean, it would have been interesting to see if what it would look like if they'd gone with the kind of Another World vector art style, but I think the pixel art works, and I do think it does capture the mood. Now, as I said, I do know what I'm doing, so what we will do is we need to basically get past this robot. Now we've blown up all the robots in this corridor, we've got a nice easy run. Hope they had insurance. And we've got another save point, and we've found a spaceship, but it's not as easy as that. There's still more robots, and as you might imagine, we've got to basically steal the spaceship, and we need to, as it said on that map in our apartment, we've got to steal a gun. And to steal a gun, we have to basically unlock the gun cabinets. So we need a password. So thankfully, we don't have to memorize that password, but we do have to do lots of backtracking, and this is where the kind of Metroidvania aspect comes into the game. So it is very much go to one side of the map, flip a switch, come all the way back, and then you can actually carry on. And follow this guy. It would be nice to see if there's a way to speed up climbing up the see, we can't, not authorized, so we're gonna have to basically hack our way into the gun cabinets using the weapons server. There we go. Yes, we need to check our privileges and add a user. So there we go. Thankfully we didn't have to remember that password. But there is a section in this where we will need pen and paper to actually make notes of stuff. So whether that is going to be an aspect of the game as well. But we can steal a gun. We should be able to steal a gun. I did authorize it. I'm sure I authorized it. Come on. Do you want to give me the weapons? Add user. Enter. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Now it's saving. Right. I must have hit the wrong button. So as I said, that's one thing I don't really miss about those kind of 90s games, of the amount of kind of backtracking, and you know, if you screwed up, you'd have to do so much backtracking just to fix the problem. But now we have a weapon, we can basically get rid of the security. We don't have to worry about cameras or bots anymore. So the aiming on this isn't great. Probably be better with keyboard and mouse. Not today. Can't get anything from security lockers or the other gun cabinets. Go on. Oh, there we go. Wait for him to go past. What I will do is close those vents, because that gets annoying after a while. We'll unlock the generators again, because that will open up the middle corridor again, which will at least give us another way of access. Okay, and we can also take care of these bots now. You won't stop me. Because we will need to get to these rooms in a little bit. But first, more backtracking. Get rid of the bot. Run, 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 run. So now we can get... Oh look, our old team. So as you can probably tell, we're scientists, planetary explorers. There's the expedition team, 01, 02, 11, 111. I don't know if that's our designation or what. Hologram DNA. Hello, Tom. It's ground control to Major Tom, actually. Ship is not ready to fly. So, as you'd imagine, we've got to make the ship ready. Shoot this bot. Oh, no. There we go. There's a note. Hey, Scotty, the fuse died again. Remember to take a new one from the storage room. The one that looks like a lemon. So, basically, we're going to have to get a fuse. Try not to get shot by these bots. So, we can't fix the fuse. We can't use this computer because we need the fuse. And ship accumulator not charged. So that's basically the fuel for the ship. So we charge. No error. Levels in surface capacitors are not equal. Please contact the tech to support so you can balance the energy using the remote battery. So there's our clue for that puzzle. And we can look what the status is. Well, obviously to level it out we need to go, well, 444. So we need to shove 2 from the capacitor 2 into capacitor 3. Which seems fairly straightforward, but even that is kind of a little bit of back and forth. So what we need to do now is going to go and get a lemon shaped fuse, but while we're at it we might as well shoot these bots. Actually, we'll just wait for this one to go back and forwards because I don't want to get caught out. That one's down. You won't stop me. And there's the data server. Spacecraft status. So what's the spacecraft status? Well, it's a red dwarf. It's cold outside, there's no kind of atmosphere. Yeah, I think the developers might be fans of 90s BBC sitcoms. So, well, what's the procedure state? Permission to lift off is missing, and the departure gate is closed. So we basically need to get permission to take off, and we need to open the hangar bay doors, Hal. So, if we go up here, more bots, more cameras. Let's shoot the camera. Go on. Oh, fine. There we go. There we go. And this is where I say you're going to have to write something down. So, in turn, we remind you that the access code for all the ship types can be found in the archives. So, we're going to have to go to the archives to get the code. And the lift-off code is in cabinet 1. Radio code is in cabinet 2. Operational code is in cabinet 3. And the base code is in cabinet 4. So, yeah, if you're playing this, you will have to make a note of that. So, let's get rid of that. And we also saw a robot, a little flying drone, which we can take care of. And obviously, this is the hangar door, but if we were to open it now, we'd be kind of screwed because that's probably a long way down. We're probably going to die if we do that. So we need to need to open it up, but also have a way to get back down. So what we will do, we'll go all the way back. All the way back. I might as well go this way as well. So see what I mean? Even for kind of a demo, this... I don't want to say long-winded, but it's appropriately long, I reckon. So this is the storage room. Let's get up here so we don't accidentally get... There we go. And we can order a spare part. So spare parts distribution. Well, we don't need a battery. We don't need a transistor. We do need a fuse. And if you remember, it looks like a lemon. So it's not going to be square or triangular. It's going to be elliptical and it's going to be yellow. Now we can grab that fuse. I'll take that with me. Well, we need to go up here because we need to go to the archive. Get our code. Yes. It has got a bit of a derpy jump. There we go. Well, we'll take care of the robot. Lucky hit. It wasn't luck, it was skill. Like that one as well. I have got a feeling there's probably going to be some sort of achievement for not destroying all the robots and the cameras and things like that. Certain ones, like these two, the beams were crossing, so you wouldn't be able to get to Cabinet 4 without destroying the cameras. But others you can probably avoid by, sneaking past them and stuff like that. So this is where we need to get the access codes. Well, of all those designations, well, we know we've got a red dwarf, so we basically need to make a note of OW, and that was the lift-off code in Cabinet 1. The Cabinet 2 was the radio code, which is SH. That's 5T for the... What is it? The operational code. And finally, not the jump button, the base code is 8E. So we need to make note of all those and then head all the way back again. Yeah. This is the one bit I don't miss about these old games. All the backtracking. But I have to say, the fact that this demo is what we're like 28 minutes in now, it gives me high hopes that the game length is for a small indie game, it's going to be fairly significant. The puzzles, if they're anything like these puzzles, fairly well structured. Basically we want to turn everything on. Let's turn on the crane, let's turn on the chain, and let's turn on the elevator. Let's get out of here. And that looks a lot like a ladder to me. So obviously that's our way down once we open the gate. And we can't charge up the thing yet because we need to go back to the surface. So let's go back up the ladder. Yeah. The more I do this, the more the back and forth does get a little tedious. So now we need to get our flight plan. So we're awaiting access code. We've got to enter the code. So what was the base code was... Let me grab it. It was 8E. So... the operational code was 5T. The radio code was SH. And the liftoff code was OW. And it's the best show. And we've got access granted. So, that's one job down. We just need to open the gate now. So as you can see, the way the level is set out, the way the puzzles are set out, it just instills hope in me that the full game is going to be of this quality. And it's one of those, it makes me think I may actually try and let's play this kind of thing, because it intrigues me where we're going with it. We basically need to go back up to the surface now, don't we? We need to go and charge the capacitors. So, like, even me knowing what I'm doing, with all the kind of backtracking, that is still taking half an hour. So you got to think, first time round, this is going to take people maybe 45 minutes to an hour for just this opening chapter. So, depending on how many levels there are in the game, this could easily be a good, 5-6 hour game, if not more. Let's get our gun out and shoot them. Open the door. Boosh. Get rid of this robot. Now we need to get the battery. Grab the battery, there we go. Long and tedious, I know. All I'm doing is dragging a battery around. There we go. Bring down the elevator. Oh, we've got another robot to shoot. So where I said this puzzle is a lot of back and forth. If any of you have played the kind of filling a jug puzzle of, there's like 3 litres in one and 5 in another, and you've got to come up with 1 litre and all that kind of thing. This is essentially that. So basically we need to shift power from one to another using this battery. Well, we don't need to touch capacitor 1 because that is at the level we want to. We want it to be at 4. So we're going to have to obviously take out of 2. We download into the battery, but always takes a charge of 3. That leaves us with 3 and 5. We need to upload that. Take the battery out. So if we put 3 in here and put it into this one, well, there's only space for 2 left. So that is going to leave 1 charge left in here, which we can push over here. It is one of those, if you know what the puzzle is, it's easy. Oh, it'll just help if I actually put the charge in. There you go. Push the button. Take the battery. Yeah, so if you know what the puzzle is, you know what you've got to do, but it's still that time consuming. You got to go back and forth, which is typical of any kind of point and click game, which this is essentially is an adventure game. And we need to put charge in. There we go. All seems correct. So now we can basically go and grab our dead wife and bundle her into the spaceship. Thankfully, we don't have to drive the actual car. The car does it all by itself. But we do need to ride the elevator. So I suppose, as this is a first impressions video, I should give you my first impressions. Puzzles are great, very appropriate, just enough challenge, just enough clues to actually make it fun. The kind of nostalgia factor, I'm definitely getting that. It is scratching that nostalgia itch for games like Another World, which as I said, the developers fully admit this is inspired by, and they are big fans of themselves. All right, of course, we need to charge. We've done the capacitors up top. We basically need to put the petrol in the car. So there we go. We can charge now. Accumulator's charged. There we go. Now we put gas in the car. Right. Now are we ready to fly? So yeah, puzzles great. Nostalgia great. Art style, I'm getting a little tired of pixel art, but it is appropriate to the game. It doesn't feel like a cop-out, and it's very slick. It looks really good. It plays nicely. The whole back and forwards, it's part of the game. It's just a little tiresome. It's going to make... Some people are going to find it tedious. There's obviously going to be back and forth trying to solve the puzzles that first time. Story-wise, it's a little hokey. It's been done before, but I'm hooked enough to actually want to see how it actually pays off. There we go. Got to find a hidden entrance. But as you might imagine, this is pretty much the end of the demo. We've had a nice flight. We've basically got our dead wife off planet Earth and onto some strange alien planet where the supposed Temple of Youth is, key to immortality. But as I said, I'm going to keep an eye on this game. Only month or so left before it actually comes out. I don't know exactly when in May it's due out, but as I said, I'm going to keep an eye on it, and it's one I'm tempted to play all the way through, and we get a sneaky peek at what the game looks like. It's definitely got that flashback vibe to it. Even these creatures, just paint them black and they are out of another world. But this has been The Way. If you like the game or like the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And if you want to get in touch with us, you can do in the comments below or on any of the social medias over at the Kilobits. And if you want to help support us, why not head over to Patreon at patreon.com/the Kilobits. I've been John, this has been The Way, and I will catch you guys later. Bye!